opening review, I'm going to turn to Steve, because he's very passionate and loves this movie. Or, I don't know, maybe he doesn't. But he's very passionate about Harry Potter and the Harry Potter films.
Yes.
I think that's an accurate statement.
Yes.
So, Steve, starts off.
So, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, I think is the best film in the series. Mm-hmm. It's actually one of my top 20 films of all time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's one of the most amazing films ever made. So this had a lot to live up to. Mm-hmm. I don't think it quite did. And I'll explain why, but I think this is an amazing film. Don't get me wrong. This is an absolutely wonderful film. Mm-hmm. I loved it.
This is going to be the realistic nerding out episode where we sit back.
Reeling it back a bit.
We're happy, but...
We're pragmatic nerds, I guess. I think this is a really, really, really good film. However, out of any of the Harry Potter movies, I think this is the one that requires you to have read the books the most. There's so much in this movie that I did not understand, having not finished the series. I'm currently in the middle of the 6th book. And there's a lot that I just, like, when he drops the resurrection stone, I don't understand why he did that.
Oh, why he doesn't keep it?
Why he doesn't keep it. I don't understand why he drops it.
I didn't understand that either.
There's a lot in this that I don't... There's the scene when Snape is talking to Dumbledore, and he does his... the dough...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's this spell called?
The spell is called...
We were just talking about this.
Oh my god.
Patronus.
We almost lost our nerd
Patronus. Yes, Patronus
is a dough.
Yeah.
The implication of that was that he sent the dough to Harry at that moment when he's in the forest to find Dumbledore's alive at that moment. Dumbledore is already dead when Harry's in the forest to find the sword. So that there's a time at that moment.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, Dumbledore's still alive?
But that could also just be Snape showing his love for Lily, because Lily had the same dough.
No, yeah.
Dumbledore doesn't have to recognize that it's him who's been helping Harry.
No, and I realize that. I'm just saying that having read the book, that confusion probably wouldn't have been there. And this is the only one of the movies where I felt like, wow, I really need to go read this book to really figure out what's going on.
How do you guys feel about that? Because have you read the 7th book? Steve likes it, but feels like the book.
I have not read any of the books, but after watching, completing the movie series, I have decided that I'm going to put forth the time and effort to do that. So
it's well worth it.
That's what I keep hearing. So yeah. I definitely want to, and I agree with what you're saying, because I feel like there's a parallel that you can make, having read the books, just because there's always so much more content in the book than there is in the movie. Like, that's just the way that's going to be. You can't possibly put everything in a book into a movie, nor should you. I think it's okay to have them be separate to a degree, but I think it would definitely help to have that connection there, to actually be reading along. So I definitely think I've missed a lot as well. Like, had a lot of questions by the end of the series. Like, I guess I was expecting once we got to 7, part 1 and part 2, I'd be like, okay, it's going to be this whole wrap up. I'm going to understand everything.
Right.
Heck no. Like, that is just not how it went down at all. Because we talked about it for I don't know, a good half hour, 45 minutes after we saw it. And we're like, okay, we don't know
she's
what this
speaking
means.
for you here, Steve.
Well, in general.
Yeah.
I was going to say this film did a couple of things for me, and I think for a lot of its audience. And let me say, this is just an awesome, unbelievably epic and powerful movie. I'm still blown away that this existed within the Harry Potter franchise. And so that's really what it did. For those of us who don't know Harry Potter that well, I think this movie emphasized extremely strongly that, pardon my bad English, that Harry Potter is as epic and as powerful and as deep as any of the other great science fiction and fantasy of our generation.
Oh, yeah.
And also, I'm kind of touching on what we've been talking about so far, it reminded me that it literally buries me under details, and I am powerless to sort my way through them. So, I enjoy the Harry Potter movies very much. I've never read one word of the books, and having seen most of the movies essentially once, a couple of them twice, the Deathly Hallows Part 2 makes me realize I need to either take the time to read the books a few times to catch all the details, or watch the movies about 30 more times to try and sort through everything. But I think it would be a worthwhile pursuit. And I've never cared about these characters more than I do now that I've seen
one of the
end
things
of the
I
series.
appreciate about the movies.
Wow. Harry Potter 7B versus 1983's Return of the Jedi. Goodness gracious.
The end of sagas.
Yes.
The end.
The end of the
This
saga.
is,
Before the beginning.
So this is like an original Star
This
Wars.
is the third Star Wars. The last, Return of the Jedi. Jabba the Hutt.
But not the remake.
Not the remakes.
No,
No.
1983.
Yeah, so no, I have not seen that. I'm sorry.
You haven't seen Return of the Jedi?
Oh, wow.
I don't think so.
The one with the Ewoks.
Is that even
Oh,
possible?
yeah, okay, yes,
Okay.
I have.
Okay.
I'm sorry, there's so many.
It's okay.
No, that's fine. That's like, I don't know.
It's been a long time, though. It definitely...
I know people who haven't seen it.
It's arguably
Really?
impossible. Oh, okay.
I know people who
Are
haven't seen it.
they American?
Yeah.
We do, okay.
And I've tried to make them watch them, and
we do in
they're
fact
like, I don't
own
really
all
want
these
to.
movies.
Yeah.
My dad has the originals.
Yeah.
All
They're
right.
on VHS.
I'll focus the discussion. I actually have to go with Return of the Jedi. I would call the original Star Wars trilogy the quote-unquote holy trilogy of films. And Return of the Jedi is just an established classic. Right now, I have to stick with Return of the Jedi.
I'm gonna go with you for the same reason. It's an established classic. I think it's also my personal favorite, and as the Star Wars films go, and I know that's kind of strange. A lot of people put Empire Strikes Back, and I think Star Wars just
because those people recognize quality filmmaking.
it's not that good, dude. It's maybe good. It's so overrated.
Oh, it's
not.
that good.
It's very good. The smart thing about this is it wasn't directed by George Lucas.
Yeah.
The silly Ewoks aside, it's great. It is a satisfying conclusion
Right.
to a series. I think so.
I agree.
And its influence on cinema has been amazing. If Album was here, we would probably nitpick on some of the flaws of Star Wars,
Yes.
technically, and story-wise, and things like that. And it's true. It's got a lot of flaws. But I love Return of the Jedi, and I think it's established. So it beats Harry Potter for that reason. It's too much of a classic to go against it.
I'm going to be the dissenting vote, just because I think Return of the Jedi is the weakest of the three.
Okay.
And you know,
Weaker than Star Wars?
I actually think it's weaker than Star Wars. Yeah. Only because it takes what was originally a good idea and tries to make it cutesy with the Ewoks, and there's a lot of like humor that really falls flat. Whereas like Han Solo in the previous movies is a really cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
Return of the Jedi,
Harrison Ford's not cool.
not in Return of the Jedi. He just kind of makes jokes that fall flat. He becomes the comic relief, and I really don't like that. I don't like that he does that. It's great. It's a great movie. It's one of the first movies that I remember in theaters being like terrified, because I remember seeing this in theaters. The Rancor. I remember hiding under the seat because of it. Absolutely. So like, there's a special place in my heart with this movie. But at the same time, I think Harry Potter concludes better. It doesn't try to appeal. It doesn't feel like Harry Potter is trying to, we got to get the little kid audience in. Whereas Return of the Jedi does that.
They were clearly trying to get the little kid audience in when Voldemort was walking through the slaughtered bodies.
Yeah.
Oh, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah.
That just pulls the little kids in like crazy.
I don't know. Just Return of the Jedi is pandering. Harry Potter does not.
No, it's not pandering.
Oh, yeah. It definitely does. It
Take
panders.
it too far, sir.
It panders. I mean, and I place the blame on George Lucas. Squarely.
You can't place all
There's
the blame
no.
on George
You
Lucas.
cannot say that George Lucas does not pander.
No, I can't. I mean, the man redid the first three.
Exactly.
These three.
And this is a hint
put
at
Ewan McGregor
the
into
debacle
them.
that
So
will
yes,
come.
he panders, but no, he didn't pander in this one.
Shannon?
I don't know if I should vote on this one, because originally I didn't think I had seen the movie.
But you've
Because
seen it.
obviously,
You have
I've
seen
seen
it.
it, but I really, remember very little about that because it's been over 10 years since I've seen it.
Can't we assume that...
As long as you agree with me, it's fine.
Honestly...
That's your opinion. Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, that's... If you've seen it, and that's a situation that you're holding with it, and it wasn't that memorable for you, vote on that. What can we do?
I don't want to vote... I don't want to vote Harry Potter because it's in the forefront of my mind. You know what I mean? Like, I want to actually legitimately compare the two movies, and I feel like I cannot do that at this point because I haven't seen it in over 10 years. So...
But you're moving towards Harry Potter. It sounds like.
Absolutely.
But I mean, that's
You're going with
I would ask.
I am going with the
I am
Return of the
too.
Jedi.
I would talk to
And
Tom.
so we need a
I think
you're right.
Yeah, this shows you how you conclude an epic. This actually gave us that sense of you can have a film franchise. Because yes, there's The Godfather and there's The Godfather Part 2. But The Godfather Part 2 was like begged for, like asked for. People wanted more. This was a planned completion, you know.
So you're arguing that is the first epic.
It's the first epic
series, really.
But that doesn't make it better. You know, I mean...
And that's actually not what I'm arguing. As a film, it might be weaker. It might have more technical flaws. It might have more story problems. But it's more important to film.
See, that doesn't play... That doesn't have a
its contribution to film is more important.
I think that...
yeah, and I can't put... Harry Potter isn't a classic yet.
But Tom votes Harry Potter.
Tom's a dummy. You're a dummy.
So does that mean we can kind of count her as Harry Potter and we're going to go with... Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys let me know when you want me to start talking again.
Just
go for it. Nate will fix it.
Whatever.
All right. Well, via text, Tom Caper, our buddy, has voted for Harry Potter. So, Nate and I are overridden, and we are going to go with Harry Potter over Return of the Jedi.
Darn it.
And let's see what we have next.
In that one, so it becomes very real, like real life, which is good, but like in the same aspect, you don't necessarily want to be reminded that like there's pain. You know what I mean? So yeah,
instead of listening
at the corner of my eye,
he's much more fascinated by whether or not he can catch an insect.
I was listening, and she's right.